What's good, gamers? Buttoff941 here, and let's just get right into it. This is another one of those 7 to 10 minute videos that I threw together on short notice because I didn't have anything ready to go by the time I needed to. Also, I completely killed the goodwill I built with the algorithm over the last 9 months by uploading Elden Ring DLC videos that nobody watches, so that's cool. Thank God this isn't my job. So as you can tell based on the title, we're going to be talking about why I still play Darkest Dungeon 1 to this day. This is another one of those games in the list of, yeah, this sucks. I've played like 1,200 hours of it that I just can't get enough of. This game is stressful, frustrating, hostile, and unfair. It is unforgiving. It is bleak, and it gets you attached to characters that are like 3 dice rolls away from instantly dying and never coming back. I fucking love it. There's probably something wrong with me, but every other turn-based game just does not stand up in comparison, Baldur's Gate 3 being an obvious exception. But also that game has a very different vibe and intended experience that the devs wanted for it. Larian's got a lot more... There's some bleak shit in there, but it's a much more positive game. There's also, you know, the characters are fleshed out characters, not so much the class with barks, you know? So, the personality isn't really a mechanic, if that makes sense. Darkest Dungeon is, from the words of Chris Barassa and Tyler Siegman, a game that explores how...
If you really think about it, it would really suck to be an adventurer.
You get shot, stabbed, lost, limbs broken or removed, poisoned, cursed, mutated, eaten, fucking everything. If it sounds like a horrible way to die, it's most likely going to happen. And then, the survivors... all have to deal with the trauma and stress of living through whatever horrid bullshit tried to kill them but got their buddies instead. And then, sometimes, you have to do some not-so-nice things to make it home. And then, there's no guarantee you even get a reward for what you've done. It's like the gig economy, except you'll probably get tetanus and die halfway home from that DoorDash delivery. Please clap. It's not a very peaceful life. In fact, it's the opposite. It's stressful and awful, and you have next to no control of how things go. That unpredictability of the world is something that I really enjoyed, that the game conveys very, very well. It's not 100% random. There are some core rules and patterns to expect that you can and should plan for, but sometimes shit just does not work out. Very similar to the real world, in fact. There's just also cultists, skeletons, mushroom creatures, swine folk, and cosmic fucking horror to deal with. Now, obviously, if you know what you're doing, you can break the game systems wide open. It's a video game, you know, so like, for example, you could just build for speed and dodge, then play PD, Gestal, and Flag, and only play high-tempo moves. It's a video game with abusable mechanics. Nihil Novi Sub Sole and all that. God, I'm pretentious. But the atmosphere the game creates while you're still learning is fucking amazing. Wayne June's narration and Barassa's artwork, plus the torture stress mechanic, all work together to break you. It gets into your head, and when things start going wrong, they keep going wrong. Oh man. When you make a bad decision, it's more than likely that it'll create a cascade of errors that lead to a catastrophic degree of failure. I can tell you now, and this has happened multiple times, and I'm still playing, by the way, like, keep that in mind, I have lost entirely maxed out and fine-tuned parties before. Like, I got all the quirks, positive and negative, that I want for the exact playstyle I've got. The entire group works together perfectly. But just because I made a bad call and thought we could take a small risk, I lost them. They all died. Too much stress on one character, then a failed resolve check, then they refuse to use a spell, they stress the party out, specifically the healer, then the healer fails a resolve check, then people start dying, so I can't even use the sane and healthy ones that will listen, since they're out of position, then my retreat fails, and then people start dying again, then I lose a full team of 4 and all 8 of their trinkets. It sucks, but I love it. Mildly unrelated, but the only other time I've felt the same degree of stress, in a good way, in a video game, was when I played Frostpunk for the first time and had to deal with the super blizzard killing everybody and all my resources just dwindling constantly, praying that we'd be able to hold out long enough for the storm to abate. It was nail-biting and nerve-wracking until the very end, and I was so fucking stressed. It was amazing. That's the only 2 games that have made me feel that way. What's hilarious is that I'm describing all of these stressful and horrible moments when this game is really about hope. The light and the darkness. That indomitable human spirit that everybody talks about nowadays. Yes, your job sucks. Yes, your friends die. Yeah, you might not get paid. But you're still out there doing it. You're still here, kicking ass. Because sometimes, you succeed that resolve check. Sometimes you get that lucky crit. Sometimes you scrape by on 1 HP and beat that boss. These are just pixels on a screen, with even less direct narrative to engage with than most other video games I enjoy. But I've felt so many different emotions throughout my time playing Darkest Dungeon, and that's why I will never stop playing. That's why I love Darkest Dungeon. But with that, that's going to be it for me today. Short one, nothing too crazy. Do y'all like this game? I know the sequel came out, and it's just not for me. It's not a bad game. I just have more of an attachment to this one, and I like the short build up over time kind of thing that this one has explicitly from the gate and isn't part of a mechanic they added later because persistence is cool. I also like the mods that I've got, and I know Darkest Dungeon 2 recently got mod support, but like, I'm good. I don't really like the token thing. I like buff debuff, but it's okay. It's just not for me in the same way that this one is. Still a good video game, and I still enjoy my time with it. I just prefer this one. What do y'all think? Do you enjoy this video game? Have you played it before? Have you felt the soul-crushing awfulness? And then the final fight, and you know, hopefully didn't spoil yourself on it and realized what was going on? That moment's pretty fucking cool. I don't know. You can't really do it again, but like, it's pretty fucking cool. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.